Welcome back to the New Leaf Education course. To understand DOT drug and alcohol testing, we have to look backward. The system we use today was built step by step as a specific reaction to systemic failures and national tragedies. Before 1966, federal transportation oversight was scattered. Aviation, highways, railroads, and maritime operations were handled by different departments with no central coordination. The Coast Guard reported to the Treasury, public roads fell under Commerce, and rail oversight sat with the Interstate Commerce Commission. That fragmented structure changed with the Department of Transportation Act of 1966. For the first time, Congress established a single cabinet-level department to unify transportation safety and policy under one roof. The creation of the DOT did not immediately trigger drug and alcohol testing. Instead, it provided the federal framework necessary to manage a national safety system once those needs were identified. By the 1980s, the federal government began prioritizing workplace safety and sensitive positions. In 1986, Executive Order 12564 established a drug-free federal workplace policy, requiring agencies to test federal employees who held positions of public trust. 2 years later, the Drug-Free Workplace Act expanded these expectations to certain federal contractors, moving substance use policy toward formal compliance and written documentation. Even with a centralized transportation department and these early policies, a critical gap remained. The country still lacked a mandatory, standardized testing system built specifically to protect the public from safety-sensitive transportation failures. The weakness of that fragmented system became impossible to ignore in 1987. On January 4th, a set of Conrail locomotives ignored warning signals and moved directly into the path of a high-speed Amtrak passenger train in Chase, Maryland. 16 people died in the resulting collision. The National Transportation Safety Board found marijuana in the blood and urine of both the Conrail engineer and the brakeman. This finding linked illegal drug use directly to a failure in a safety-sensitive operation, proving that impairment in transportation is a matter of public safety, not a private personnel issue. In 1989, the Exxon Valdez grounding in Prince William Sound demonstrated the scale of environmental risk. The tanker ruptured on Bligh Reef, spilling nearly 11 million gallons of crude oil and devastating Alaskan ecosystems. Investigators identified multiple layers of systemic failure. The master of the vessel was suspected of alcohol impairment. The NTSB also cited severe fatigue, inadequate staffing, and a lack of effective supervision by the shipping company. These disasters proved a fatal flaw in the old approach. In a safety-sensitive environment, waiting until after a crash to detect impairment is too late. Public outcry forced a legislative shift. In 1991, Congress passed the Omnibus Transportation Employee Testing Act. This law created the federal mandate. It legally required DOT agencies to implement drug and alcohol testing for all safety-sensitive transportation employees across the country. To make that mandate functional, the DOT established 49 CFR Part 40. The Omnibus Act provided the legal authority, but Part 40 provided the standardized procedure. It sets uniform rules for collections, laboratory analysis, medical review officers, and substance abuse professionals. This shared foundation is strictly necessary. Without Part 40, individual agencies would handle testing inconsistently, leading to unreliable results and an unenforceable system. The evolution of transportation safety continued well into the 21st century. In 2003, the Staten Island ferry Andrew J. Barberi struck a maintenance pier, killing 11 passengers and injuring 70. Toxicology tests were negative for alcohol and illegal drugs. However, investigators found prescription tramadol and diphenhydramine in the assistant captain's system, medications that can cause significant drowsiness. The NTSB determined that these legal medications led to the assistant captain's incapacitation at the helm, resulting in the deadly crash. This crash proved that a negative test for illegal narcotics is only one part of safety. Protecting the public also requires strict medication disclosure, rigorous medical fitness reviews, and clear command oversight. From the creation of the DOT in 1966 to the testing mandates of 1991 and the medical safety lessons of 2003, the system has developed step by step. Each layer was built to control a specific risk identified by past tragedies. Take a moment to complete this reflection exercise. Write down 3 of the dates on screen and describe exactly how federal safety policy changed on each of those dates. In our next video, we'll examine how the 6 individual DOT agencies apply this overarching federal framework to their specific transportation sectors.